Beverly Hills Unified School District regular board meeting. Today is November the 22nd, and it is now 5:41 p.m. First up, before I open the meeting, I would like to invite up Sandy Sosi, who is our Executive Director of Technology, who spoke at our last board meeting during our community spotlight. And today she's going to lead us in, or she's going to do our land acknowledgement for us this evening. Welcome, Sandy.
Thank you, President Wells and board. Good evening. Thank you once again for inviting me last week in the Community Spotlight for Indigenous Peoples Month. And today we'd like to start with the land acknowledgement. Our hope is to inspire others to take action in learning and supporting Indigenous cultures. One way of honoring these communities is through land acknowledgements, and BHUSD acknowledges that we are on the Tongva land. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, I would like to call the meeting to order and invite up our student, now I'm lost, Soo Young Kim, and she will lead us in the flag salute. Welcome.
Please rise for the flag salute. Face the flag, put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, and to the republic which I stand, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Sturm, would you like to read the mission and vision?
Okay. Our mission is educational excellence. Our vision is our students will realize their full potential to thrive with integrity in a complex, changing world.
Thank you. Next, we'll have Alex Bowden, our student board member, read the community pledge.
The BHUSD community acknowledges that in order to achieve educational excellence, we must act with integrity and respect for each other and our learning environment. Therefore, I pledge to model civil behavior and respect in all communications and in public while maintaining a culture of honesty. Listen and acknowledge differences of opinion. Do my part to protect an inclusive culture in which we honor the relationship between all school community members, and honor our learning environment, including how we take care of our schools and personal property. By holding ourselves and each other accountable to this pledge at all times, we will promote an environment of educational excellence that will allow our entire BHUSD community to thrive.
Thank you. May I have a motion for the approval of the agenda?
So moved.
All those in favor?
We need a second.
Second.
Motion was made by Mr. Margot and seconded by Mr. Halimi. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0 with a preferential vote from Alex Bowden. Dr. Brady, would you have anything to report on closed session?
President Wells, there was no action in closed session.
Thank you. Next up, we have our student spotlight, and I would like to invite up Mr. Stewart.
Thank you, President Wells, Board of Education, Dr. Brady. It is my distinct privilege to be here tonight and introduce one of our most amazing students that we have at our school. Miss Decatrail wanted to be here tonight. She got the bug that so many people have gotten, so we hope that she's well. So I'm here tonight to talk about Soo Young Kim. In addition to being an amazing A student in all AP classes, being concert master in the orchestra, amazing. We're actually here to recognize her for a couple of pretty amazing achievements. And so I'm going to kind of go through the list, and we would probably be here all night if I went through all of it in great detail. So I will kind of give a brief overview of all of the amazing things that Soo Young has sort of accomplished in the very recent past. The first one is that she received a scholarship from the Korean American Educational Research Center based on her academic achievement, community service, and her character. In addition to that, she's been chosen as a 2023 Coca-Cola Scholars semifinalist. She was chosen for this from among more than 91,000 applicants based on her outstanding leadership, academics, and dedication to her community. There are 1,557 semifinalists, and approximately 250 regional finalists will be chosen to continue through the selection process. Finalists will receive a $20,000 scholarship from Coca-Cola, And the notifications regarding the next phase of this will be sent out the week of January 30th. So we wish her luck and are with her during this process. In addition to that, she was admitted last summer to the Pioneer Research Program's summer term. This is a fully accredited online research program for high school students. That achievement was extremely exciting in and of itself, with more than 3,300 applicants from 61 countries and regions that were submitted, and she was one of 859 people selected for research positions. Even more recently than that, we found out that that her research paper was chosen for publication. The journal has an incredibly competitive acceptance rate for submissions where less than 9% of people are selected, and she was one of them. So just a ton of amazing achievements for her this fall, and we want to give her an opportunity to talk about it a little bit more.
Thank you so much for having me tonight, and Mr. Stewart for the introduction. I really am so grateful for all the results I've gotten and truly feel so honored to be representing not only our school district, but our city through my participation in these various programs. And I'd like to thank all my teachers at Beverly, first of all, and especially my counselor, Mrs. Hart, for always supporting me through my various endeavors, both academic and musical, and always motivating me to strive towards a larger goal. I've always carried the strongest wish to give back towards my community in a meaningful way, both in my immediate and beyond. And actually, one of my favorite memories from when I was much younger was just performing and volunteering throughout various senior centers across California and being able to interact and really form these special bonds with the various people I interacted with. And over time, I believe my passions and vision really was able to expand beyond just music, and I've really had a great time these past few years leading various student organizations and community efforts to deliver towards greater and more meaningful causes. So once again, I'm so grateful for all the opportunities I've received, and I look forward to spending the rest of my senior year with my teacher and friends. So thank you so much once again and for having me tonight.
Thank you. Alex, did you want to say anything?
Sure. Congratulations, So-Yeon. Your accomplishments are so well deserved, and I know that you're already an incredibly accomplished student, but I'm so excited that I know in 10, 20 years when we have our class of 2023 reunion, you're going to have done even more, and I'm so excited, and congratulations again.
Well, it's people like you, So-Yeon, that make us so proud. I can't tell you, I'm speechless when I hear about everything that you have been able to achieve and accomplish. I'm amazed. And you make Beverly Hills so proud and the high school so proud that we have a representative. I can't tell you, I wish that the other students would be hearing this and thinking, I would love to do something like that also, and that you would give that back to our school. But I believe that on the graduation, there's always what you're going to become, and the one is going to most likely to succeed. There's no doubt in my mind that 20 years ago, as was mentioned, that you will be the most likely to succeed, and we will see more from your name in the future. Thank you for being here.
God, I wish I could say it better than my fellow school board members, but I can't. Just congratulations. Wishing you much success in the future. We know you're going to have a very bright future ahead of you. Congratulations. Thanks.
Yes, congratulations. It's amazing, and it really makes me think just how one can really do so many different things. And all I can say is make sure you're also enjoying the journey.
Thank you for showing the best of what Beverly can be, and you are a prime example of the more you do, the better you do things. So,
Thank you for being here today, and thank you for all of your hard work. And I'm just very impressed by all of your accomplishments and all of your varied interests. And I really appreciate your desire to give back and your altruism. And I really look forward to seeing what comes of that as you continue on your journey. So thank you for being here, and congratulations.
You are certainly proof that there is the research that's out there, the tie-in between your music and your academic success. And so you're a model for us and for all students here in BHUSD. And thank you for making really good decisions, not only representing Beverly Hills High School, but also the city of Beverly Hills as well. Congratulations.
Yes. Okay, the next on our agenda is the Beverly Hills High School Girls CIF Champions Division 2, and I'm going to invite up Mr. Tim Ellis. And I'd like to ask all the players, if you're there in the audience, if you please come stand up.
Ladies, coaches. Jeez. A week ago, our young ladies, our girls tennis team went to, had been in the CIF playoffs, and we went up to Claremont to play in the CIF finals. And the girls came out victorious. They are the CIF Division II champions, and it is an amazing run that they had. 3 of the 4 schools or 5 schools they beat were perennial powerhouses in Orange County, Edison, Los Alamitos, and Fountain Valley. So they did an amazing job. And I'm going to introduce Coach Robin and Coach Lena to come up, and they're going to introduce the players and talk a little bit about them. So they're CIF champions, and it's quite the honor, and we're very excited and proud of them.
Well worth it. Love that. Hang on to that. Oh, I wasn't expecting this, but anyways, first of all, I want to thank the board for inviting us to be here, and would love to get to know each and every one of you. Also, Tim Ellis, thank you for the opportunity to work with you and alongside you. And then my girls, one word, proud. I'm amazed. They're amazing. Their perseverance, their trust, their confidence, their competitiveness. Each and every one of them has a specific job to do, and they've been doing it. They've been bringing it day in, day out, practice. I can't even tell you. I'm just so, I'm proud and impressed. Lena, would you like to say something about your girls?
Hi all, I'm very grateful to be here. Very proud as well of all these talented girls in tennis. I encourage them to pursue more in tennis. And they played amazing, very fun matches to watch. And I wish them all the best in their journey. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Thank you.
Come on up, ladies. Okay, yeah. All right. Wow. Wow. Sienna Shapiro, are you here?
Sienna,
Where did Sienna go?
Oh, no, Sienna sit.
Okay, just set it down. Okay, I'm sorry. There you are. I missed you. Okay, Nina Sadu. Wow. Wow. Come on up, Nina. There you go. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you.
Congrats.
So proud of you.
Yes.
Nicole Gorbacheva. Come on up.
Yes,
Come on up.
Nicole.
There's my number 1 player right there.
Gorbacheva.
Well, they're all my number 1 players.
Congratulations.
You did a good job.
talent.
Good job. Eugenia Lee. All right, Legina. This is my captain. Fantastic job. This is our captain right here. She's amazing. I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. Anna Strickman, another high-powered player. My number 1 player right there. Doubles or singles. Congratulations, Anna.
Yay.
You can smile.
Bella, come on up, Bella. There's my powerhouse. Boy, can she hit the ball. Wow. There she is. Congratulations. So proud of you. Congratulations.
Oh, that's awesome.
Lola Eustace, come on up. There's another powerhouse. She brings it every practice, every match. Thank you. Congratulations. And Ryan Smith, come on up. Bringing it every practice. And what a forehand you got right there. What a forehand. Tali Goldcard. Very talented, very talented. Excellent, brings it every time. Thank you. Good player. Love that backhand. Skylar Hose, excellent player, most improved player, one of my most improved players. Congratulations. Thank you, congratulations.
She said to call and get this one to
Yeah.
And so we're going to just call them up, get you those two. If you want to get the other two, call them up.
Okay, come on up,
Charlie,
Charlie
Jetty.
and Ruby. You're gonna get one of these, by the way. You'll get your plaque. Thank you, sir. Well, thank you. I appreciate
Thank you all.
Gosh, so nice to meet you. Thank you so much.
And the CIF individual championships have taken place this week, and we have 3 girls going on to the CIF individual finals next week. So pretty exciting as well. So not only a team championship, but hopefully some individuals as well. Thank you, guys. Thanks, coaches.
Thank you. Thank you, Big Boss.
Thank you. Thank you. Take that.
Okay, the next item on our.
Can we say something about?
Sure, go ahead. I'm so sorry. Alex?
Congratulations to each and every single one of you. The entire student body is just so proud of your hard work and dedication to your sport.
I want to congratulate all of you. I know how hard it is to get to the finals and win the finals because my son always played on the tennis team. They got to the last championship game and they couldn't get over that last hump. So you got over the hump. So I really am so proud of you. And I want to say, I was looking at your bios, and many of you are undergraduates. They're not your freshmen, juniors, and sophomores. So I'm looking to see many of you back here next year and getting the same award again. So I wish you all the best in the world, and thank you for everything and bringing that glory to our school.
Again, couldn't say it better, but just congratulations. You guys make the entire city proud with the accomplishment that you guys have done. It really is a team sport in this case. You didn't win in singles or doubles. It's as a team, and you guys should be very, very proud of that. And like Mrs. Marcus said, I hope this is the first of many championships to come. Congratulations. And congratulations to the coaching staff. Really, you guys obviously did an unbelievable job. So thank you.
I'll just say congratulations and thank you for all your hard work and dedication.
I told Reese she should have stayed with the tennis team. That's all. To those of you that I've made Ice Blendeds for and have spent time around the Margot household, it's so wonderful to see you up in this position. I'm very, very proud. I kind of feel semi-adopted in the team or threaded through there. So great job. And just look at all the ladies that are making Beverly look great tonight, by the way. Awesome.
I'd just like to say congratulations to you all for a hard-fought battle, and congratulations.
Also, my congratulations. It's one thing to excel in your sport, but what's really unique is you're just such a great group of students too, and it was really nice to be able to see you be honored at lunch, and just how much you actually enjoy spending time with each other too, and that certainly reflected this year in your success. So congratulations.
Good luck at finals.
Yes, good luck. Okay. So the next item on our agenda is the BHUSD Community Spotlight, and today we are acknowledging Transgender Day of Remembrance. The Trans Day of Remembrance is actually on November the 20th, and it's the International Transgender Day of Remembrance to remember those who are victims of anti-transgender violence. So we have speakers for this evening. The speakers actually chose to provide statements, but to remain anonymous for a variety of reasons. And I think that speaks a lot, or volumes actually, about the topic that we're talking about in the first place. I don't think that I can introduce today without acknowledging the violence that occurred in Colorado Springs on the eve of Transgender Remembrance Day. And my heart goes out to all the families and to all the people who have lost their loved ones, and and that this, we speak a lot about anti-Semitism. We speak a lot about hate and discrimination, and I think this is yet another example where when we see situations, when we see hate in all forms, we must speak out against it because it leads to violence, and it's just, those are the lessons that we've learned, and I don't think that we can ever forget that. So the first person that will read is Noah Margot. He's going to read a statement that's been provided by one of our students.
Transgender Day of Remembrance is a solemn day to remember those we have lost as a result of transphobia. In this land of the free that so many advocates have fought and died for, we should all have the right to live our lives authentically. I am grateful to attend a school that makes me feel that I can be me. Many of my teachers start the year off asking our class to share our pronouns and what name to use. Almost all my teachers share their pronouns with us in their emails, which tells me that they are comfortable having transgender teens like me as students. I don't think this is the case at most schools. Yesterday, I woke up hearing about the horrible acts of hate that took place in Colorado against my queer community. I am constantly hearing about transgender violence, and it scares me. I am happy to learn that BHUSD is dedicating November 22nd as Transgender Day of Remembrance. Thank you. This is an important day for us to honor the transgender people whose lives were lost, but also celebrate how far we have come.
Thank you, Noah. And next, I'm going to read a different statement that is submitted by another member in our community. And it goes as follows. Sunday, November 20th, was International Transgender Day of Remembrance. For those of you who don't know what that is, it is a day where we remember past victims of anti-transgender violence and call attention to the attacks on the transgender community that continue to this day. Over the past few years, politicians have drastically increased anti-transgender rhetoric in attempts to feed the flames of a culture war. They spread disinformation about transgender healthcare and push the same tired tropes that have been used for decades against other groups. They fearmonger with false claims about people turning children transgender and claim the existence of transgender people alone is a danger to society, all for the sake of riling up their base for votes. This rhetoric is not without consequences. It is used as justification for harmful legislation. 2022 set a record for bills targeting the transgender community, with over 300 anti-trans bills being proposed across the country. Many of those bills introduced would deny transgender youth life-saving medical care and prevent them from using the proper restrooms. Others would require schools to out transgender students and ban them from even teaching students that transgender people exist. It's not just legislation either. Hate crimes against the transgender community jumped 41% between 2019 and 2020. This increased even more in 2021, which was the deadliest year on record for the transgender community. Disinformation campaigns about transgender healthcare have even led to bomb threats towards children's hospitals that provide gender-affirming care for transgender adolescents. Many of you may be shocked to hear this, but it's not that surprising. Media coverage of attacks on the transgender community has been scarce compared to the amount of disinformation being spread. That's why we need days like Transgender Day of Remembrance. People need to be aware of the increasing attacks on the transgender community because hatred thrives when good people are uninformed. And that's the two comments that we had for our community spotlight. And I would just like to give an opportunity to go around to our board. But thank you for listening. Alex?
Thank you to the two individuals who submitted those letters. And I think it, really brings to light that there's still this theme in our world that prevails, where people think that it's acceptable to strip people, regardless of who they are, of their rights and liberties, as we see with continued violence against and discrimination against the transgender community, and even with recent events against the people of Iran. And I know that this community and this board will continue to support the liberties and lives of transgender individuals, both in our community and around the world. So thank you.
Thank you, Alex.
I want to thank you for bringing that to the attention about the prejudice that is exemplified and the atrocities that accompany it. And I think by bringing this out, we can look at it and be more aware of it, because for some of us, we don't, and we live in a little cubicle, we don't see that so much. And I think this is very important for us to be aware of, and I thank you for bringing it to the attention of the board and to the community.
We've witnessed so many atrocities against different groups, and we're all just people. We need to lead with love, and there's just no room for hate. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Hate of any group, judgment of any individual. I mean, there's just no place for it, and I'm really proud of this community. I'm proud of this spotlight that we have to talk about but issues like this, and I'm glad we're acknowledging the atrocities against the transgender community like we would at any other community. There's no room for judgment, no room for hate. Thank you.
I really appreciate the letters that we were able to hear tonight, and I really hope that there comes to be a time in which they don't feel they have to be anonymous for their own safety, but I do understand and respect that. I also want to say that in adolescence, we all are struggling to find out who we are, and that is a task that all of you have to accomplish. But can you imagine how doubly hard it must be for teenagers who are also dealing with issues of gender identity? And it is something that is an extra hard thing to do. So I really commend the individuals who have shared with us tonight. Thank you.
No, I just would like to thank the individuals for taking the time to write these comments in your words. I think it's always important for us to hear from people in their own words and to hear their point of view. We hear many different comments come through the board or through public comment, and I think it's nice for us to hear from all individuals in their own words. And I really appreciate it, and I appreciate all of our board for always being open-minded and listening. And I do agree with Gabe. There is no room for hate and against any groups, and it's a dangerous slippery slope, and I think we always have to call it out.
Just gonna say, as a former teacher, former high school principal and superintendent, I hope for nothing more than any student, whether you're in kindergarten, in your middle school, or in high school, that can stand up in front of us and in front of the community and share anything that they want to share with us. And I hope that I'm able to see that one day, where people don't have to turn in notes and messages to us to read aloud, that students can stand up here and be comfortable to share what they would like to share.
Terrific. Thank you. Okay, moving on. We're going to move on to the consent calendar.
So I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
I'll second the motion.
The motion was made by Mr. Margot and seconded by Mrs. Marcus. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0 with a preferential vote from Alex Bodden. The next item on our agenda is the superintendent report.
Thank you very much, President Wells. I just have a few slides. I may have some duplicates with Ms. Bowden, so I'm going to go through these really quickly. Last week we had our thank you, Josh. We had our science fair it was the secondary science fair at Beverly Vista Middle School, and what an exciting event it was. We had some incredible presentations from our students, and for those of you that are not involved in science fair, it really is about the critical thinking that's involved, methodologies that involved, having a hypothesis, and it's really the type of the type of program and fare that is really geared towards how we want students to be able to learn and engage in their own learning. If you are not a participant, I do highly encourage for people to attend. It was a very highly successful event, and I think you might be surprised at some of the presentations and programs that some of your fellow students have developed, including just the use of technology and creating and building their own apps. It was a pretty exciting event. Many of you in this room, as I look out into the audience, were at our scrimmage that was for Zoe Suter, and I just want to thank you for attending. Many faces, you were there. Our community rallies around our families that are in need, and I just want to thank you all for being there, for participating, for donating, whether it was time or money. It showed a great outpouring from our community, which is something I'm used to seeing, too many times than I would like to count. But our community has really stepped up for our families. So thank you for being there. Danielle Hollander, it's a name that we say over and over and over again, and we're just so proud of the work that Danielle is putting in. She was 8th place in the cross-country finals, and she is now on her way this Saturday after Thanksgiving to Beverly Hills High School in state. So we wish her all the luck. I have had some time to spend just walking in and out of classrooms, which is really the best part of my job, is to be able to walk in and out of classrooms, talk to teachers, talk to students about what you're learning, what's happening in our classrooms. And I just had 2 really great afternoons in 2 of our schools, at Hawthorne and at Beverly Vista Middle School, and just looking for the type of engagement that teachers have for our students. I'm also looking for things that are happening in our strategic plan and looking for that alignment, and I'm seeing those things. So we value the excellence in education, and it was really proud moment for me to be in 2 schools to see that our principals are being the instructional leaders of their school, and it's working directly with our teachers in our classroom. So what was happening today, we were in meetings today, but we have a great partnership with our Rotary. The president is J.R. Zubak, and he is our Rotarian president. And then we're also working with Dr. Nazarian, who is somebody that's also a Rotarian. She's also a city council member. We partnered efforts with the Beverly Hills Rotary and our school district to provide family meals for Thanksgiving with lots of groceries to kind of build your own meal. And we worked with them today to provide those meals. We delivered those to families. So I certainly want to thank the Beverly Hills Rotary. I do want to also thank our staff, our leadership team. So while we were in some meetings, principals, assistant principals, directors, people were all out there making deliveries to our families for Thanksgiving. Would like to say officially congratulations to Mrs. Marcus and to Mrs. Manicherry, who have been Mrs. Marcus reelected to our board, and Mrs. Manicherry, who will be joining our board. The CSBA is the California School Board Association. They provide training and some professional development for our board and cabinet, and I look forward to beginning that process in the next couple of weeks. And just 2 schools, I just want to say thank you to the parents, the PTA, the PTSA at the high school, and also at our middle school for inviting several staff members and board members and cabinet members to a luncheon. It was a great opportunity for us to break bread together, fellowship, and it is not an easy task to provide meals to all the staff at each of the schools, but both schools, both parent organizations really pulled together to make this happen, and it was a great opportunity for us to eat some really good food and have some time to share with each other. So I want to thank those PTA members and also the PTSA. And just in conclusion, I think this is a well-earned break for every staff member and student. And it's a short one for what's going to be coming soon in the next few weeks. It's a little tease, but please enjoy the break. Please be safe. We will look forward to, after this meeting, of course, see you again on Monday.
Alex, do you have any comments?
Yeah. Two is I first just want to say how much of a congratulations I have to our entire student body, because tonight alone we saw how many awards, how many accomplishments of our students, academic, athletic, creativity. It's incredible, and I think our students are really bouncing back from the pandemic just in an incredible way. So congratulations to all our students who won awards tonight. And then also thank you to everyone in our community for your continued support of Zoe Suter.
I just want to mention the science fair briefly, because I had the privilege of being one of the judges, and I have to tell you, it's wonderful to interact with these students, to ask them questions and have them get practice to present what they're trying to prove in their science projects, giving them the chance to express themselves. And it's just a wonderful opportunity, and I know that it's grown exponentially every year. Unfortunately, this past year there was a big wave of flu that came through on that day, and a lot of kids were unable to participate. I look forward to that not happening next year, and I want to congratulate all the kids who did perform and did put out their projects. And I have to tell you one thing, that going to the classrooms, Dr. Briggy, and appearing in a classroom gives the teachers a wonderful feeling that you care and that you're there and you want to see what they're doing. And with that in mind, it provides them with a connection, and it's not somebody who's sitting in an ivory tower over here, but that you're out there seeing what's happening in the classrooms. And I hope that you get to do more of it during the next several weeks and toward the end of the year. And again, thank you for that report, and I have some other things to say at the end.
Thank you, Mrs. Marcus.
Thank you for the report, Dr. Brecky. I'm so glad that our student board member goes first, so she can, say all the great things and acknowledge again the great things that our students are doing. I was really surprised to hear that there was an election. I guess that means I'm leaving, guys.
No.
No, I am very excited that Mrs. Marcus is staying on the board. I'm excited to see Judy on the board.
Someone told me now all the hard work begins.
Yeah, you got another 4 years.
I'll be punished for 4 years.
So just congratulations to them. Congratulations to everybody that ran in the election. I think it's great that we, had to so many people running. That's it. Thank you, Dr. Breggy.
Thank you, Dr. Breggy. I have no further comments.
Thank you, Dr. Breggy, for featuring many photos of me eating lunch. It was all low carb, everybody. Trust me. If you look close, there's no rolls on my plates. I'm not speaking on the turkey's behalf.
Yes, and thank you to the PTA associations. I mean, they really put together such a beautiful lunch for all of the staff and teachers, and it was really appreciated. And also having our wonderful students there to perform, which really adds such a nice dimension to all of these events. So it was really lovely. Alex, we have our student board member report next.
I know my fellow board members have been wondering what this is doing on their desk and what it is. So my report tonight will be pretty much entirely handed over to KBEV. KBEV is currently trying to run a student-led project that I am in huge support of, because I think this is going to be something that has an incredible impact on not just the school community, but the city, alumni, and honestly people in the entire country, because well, let me tell you what it is. So KBEV has archives of about 2,000 or more old analog tapes and films from district and community events all the way back to the 1930s and up till the 2000s. So these tapes are, just sitting up in KBEV, and, the issue is that they're dying. And as time goes on, more and more footage is getting lost. And we know that some of these tapes are salvageable because of some of them that have been put through the oven and film has come out. And the reason why this is so important is because there are so many memories and so many, things that could be on these tapes that we just don't know about until we get them developed. And, this is from the last century, and I think it could be an incredible project because this is the biggest archive of film that Beverly Hills has, and it's here in our school. So I think it's our duty as students to do something about it because we're the people who created these films, for the last. But I will hand it over to KBEF to talk about their kind of project and ideas. So Ricky and Colby, thank you so much for coming and presenting on this.
Good presentation. Good lead-in.
1 second as I join the Zoom meeting for the screen sharing. All right. Good evening to all the Board of Education members and everyone who's watching on Spectrum channel and on YouTube. My name is Ricky Lee, and I am a current supervising producer here at KBEF Media Center. I'm here tonight to present, as Alex wonderfully explained, although there are a lot of heavy technical details involved. I would like to discuss a little bit more on the digitalizing process that we are hoping to proceed that we currently have in the Media Center. So as Alex discussed, our overall objective is to digitalize the current tapes that we have. In KBEF Media Center, and we'll be showing the pictures in a couple of seconds, but in KBEF we do have over 2,000 tapes that are currently stored in our climate-controlled storage. Now, the problem is, again, these tapes are meant to last for 10 to 15 years. I'm pretty sure Mr. Noah Margo would be familiar with the process, but the tapes aren't last to be stored permanently. So it is crucial for us to send these to a professional service provider who can restore these into and convert these into a digital video format so that we can, as you can see in the blue box, can have them available on a dedicated website so that our community members, board members, students, parents, and even, people who are interested in Beverly Hills High can stop by and take a look at our amazing 70 plus years worth of work that we've put in to make our amazing history of Beverly Hills High. We're also planning on upgrading our internal storage equipment in order to properly handle these public access of the video footages that we will be restoring upon the completion of the project. Tonight, I also have Colby Gilardian, who is one of my favorite student producers, as well as one of the students who have passionately working on this project in the early stage, as we have archived some of the sample footages and have been playing on YouTube and on Spectrum Cable Channel 6. He has been organizing and have been part of the archiving process, and he would be the best person to introduce what we currently have at the Media Center.
Thank you. Good evening. So as you can see in front of you, there are many tapes, and they range all the way from the 40s. And each tape comes with a story, which creates a virtual museum that's bigger than Beverly Hills Unified School District, but to the Beverly Hills community as a whole. There are a lot more tapes too. That was just one of our storage. Here are a few more. And you can see our productions range from many events. So as you can see here, we highlight Open House in 2008. And as you just glimpse through some of these productions, you can see Dance Company, a couple theater productions, E15. So there is a lot that is stored in these tapes. Moving along, you can see here's a graduation from 1997. And we don't just have graduation from Beverly Hills High School, we have it from the elementary schools as well as the middle school. So, or back when it was a K through 8, we have it from all the schools in Beverly Hills Unified School District. Here are a few more productions we have that we wanted to highlight. The Norman News, the weekly news show, longest running, and How Hollywood Works. And, yeah.
Thank you, Colby. And this is the sample footage that I brought for tonight. This was shot back in 1977. This was part of our face-to-face series. One of our students, class of 1977 actually, interviewed Ronald Reagan in our very own Studio A of KBEV Media Center, just right across this STC in Building A. And this full video will be available on YouTube and on Spectrum Channel 6. It will be playing throughout our playout schedule. So why are we bringing this presentation tonight? Well, we have two major obstacles that we're currently facing. One is the fact that this project is a time-sensitive project. All tapes have already, as I mentioned, have passed the storage cycle. Professional analog tapes are designed to last 10 to 15 years, and after that, it is unlikely to restore the best possible quality to be able to play through the professional deck that will be responsible for converting it to the digital video format. Now, these tapes cannot be restored once it fails to render video images, because essentially tapes are pretty much the long form of plastic. So once it gets jammed or damaged, it is really difficult to restore them. And considering how old these tapes are, it's going to be much harder than expected. The consequence is that if we are unable to render these, we're pretty much losing 70 plus years of video footage that was capturing all things Beverly Hills Unified School District. The other major obstacle is the funding. Now, for an archival project like this, the larger scaled archival project requires a stable funding to ensure all tapes are properly digitalized. And this is mainly because some of the tapes may be able to be rendered through one, just a simple putting the tape into the deck and playing it and recording it. Some tapes do require more of a professional grade repairing in order to be properly played. As Alex mentioned earlier, some of them has to be baked in a certain extremely high temperature. Some of them has to be torn open, and some of them has to be visually inspected, and the further scope of the repair will be determined by the professionals. Now, funding for CTE program and KBEV Media Center, where did that go, some may ask? And now, these fundings are typically earmarked for future studio upgrades. In fact, we have our current digital system and Media Center that was in place since 2016 and 2017. And we are currently actively in discussion with Ms. Cindy Dubin, who's in charge of CTE, to allocate some of the funding towards our KBEV Media Center's future digital upgrades. The consequence of this would be a significant delay in archival project and an extensive waiting for funds allocation. And here's a brief project timeline that we are expecting. Once we get things going by January, say, it's going to take about 5 months for the professional video experts to render these into a video format. And our amazing student producers will be working on preparing public release that will be available online for all community members. And we're hoping to release this virtual platform, a virtual museum of Beverly Hills Unified School District by August, by the first day of school, if possible. And here's the soft estimate of the total project. This includes the archival service done by professional contractors, our storage server that will be responsible for the playout, for the online museum, as well as some of our backbone structure upgrades and studio integration, which students will be able to play back some of the footages from the 70s, 80s, 90s into the current production. So say for the open house, graduation, homecoming, we should be able to integrate those footage into our current production, showing the continuity of our school district and how amazing we've been for the past 70 plus years. On that note, I'd like to conclude. It is my understanding that Dr. Bragi and Mr. Stewart have continuously mentioned publicly that our objective is to make BHUSD one of the top public school systems in the nation. And by showing how amazing our students were, and we're talking alumni that are excelling in entertainment, media, business, entrepreneurship, and so much more. And by showing the continuous work that we've put in as a district to prepare students to excel in various industries, I'm pretty sure this will be a prestigious asset for our school district. And tonight, I just wanted to introduce the project and just hear a little bit more, a little insight and an opinion from the board members and from the community members watching. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Ricky. Nice presentation. Did anybody want to add any comments? Alex?
Just a clarification question. So we don't currently have the facilities to digitize these videos in studio, correct?
That is correct. We do have some from amateur grade decks. We currently have 2 of them in house. However, those are not designed to play the older tapes that are damaged. And this is why it is important to have a professionals to inspect them and take the correct measures to properly archive them through their professional machines. Yes.
Well, that was an impressive presentation. I mean, you are amazing, both of you, and I can't be more proud of what you just presented. I have some questions.
Yes.
Well, first of all, this looks like a situation where you're going to have a catalog, a total catalog, where for umpteen years going back, people can access stuff that's happened in Beverly Hills and elsewhere, as I understand it.
That is correct.
And this is a massive, massive undertaking, as I imagine it, because it's amazing. You've got all these tapes all over the place, and bringing them together, putting them together, cataloging them, and putting them out there, I think is an amazing job, and congratulations on doing it. My thing is that the $76,000.
That is correct.
Is there any? Where are we going to get that? Has it been budgeted? Have you any ideas yet? Has it come up with anything like that yet?
No, we currently do not have the fund allocation. Actually, we've tried contacting some of the people who have made donations to KBF Media Center in the past 20, 30 years. And this was 2021, early 2022, when we were still recovering back from COVID. And we had some trouble bringing the donation into this project. Now, the problem is, as I mentioned, we could wait a couple more months or years to be
raise the money.
Fortunate enough to raise the money. However, at the same time, we are losing the time to properly restore these tapes into a digital format. So that is the area of concern.
I also see a big advantage to this, and that going forward, for the years going forward, they will get cataloged in, and you will not be faced with this problem any further. So I think this is a wonderful idea, and I wholeheartedly support it. I hope we can find the funding for it and get it going immediately.
That is correct. And also the other thing to mention is that this platform that we've mentioned is separate from YouTube. So unlike people just going on YouTube and us uploading videos on YouTube, it's going to be a dedicated, separate website. That way, when YouTube, for some reason, decides to change the policies, if things go south, we should still have the original raw format to to have it saved in our very own media center. That way, we have more flexibility in operating our own virtual museum platform.
You guys are amazing.
Thanks
I
so
wish I
much.
could package you up and take you home.
Ricky, thank you so much for the presentation. I wholeheartedly agree that I'd love to see this project come to fruition, not just because my mom would like to see my 1999 Homecoming Prince video that she never saw that one.
Sure, it's somewhere.
But no, I mean, in all seriousness, I mean, there's a lot of gold in there, and I love how you articulated, and I think you're absolutely right that we have a legacy of excellence, and we should future-proof the legacy that we have. So would love to try to find a way forward. One suggestion or something that we should think about, maybe Rebecca can talk to BHEF, or we can have a conversation with BHEF. Maybe there's a digital library future, and some naming rights for a digital library might be interesting for somebody, especially if we're having like a dedicated site. And, I could see something really cool there. There might be some media, family or alumni or someone that may be interested in that. So maybe there's a path forward there that should be explored. But thank you for bringing this to our attention, and let's find a way forward.
Appreciate it. And just if I could add one more thing. Speaking of donation, we should be a little more careful than the typical projects, because KBEV is a PEG channel, the Public Education Governmental Channel, and we have a thick handbook on all the policies and laws about everything pretty much that relates to the operations. And it is my understanding that bringing in advertisements and donations also have some kind of restrictions in terms of content, because we have some of the governmental funding involved in our studio operations. So that is something to just, it's not that it's impossible to bring donations for projects that involves content, but that's something that we just have to be a little bit careful of.
We got lawyers for that.
Amazing,
We'll
amazing.
Thank you, and thank you for not showing any of my 1985 or 1986 stuff. I appreciate that. I would, although I would love to see Prince Charming here win that thing. So I think in the words of our Mayor Bossy, I would say yes, and we'll figure out how.
I agree. It's a project that's well worth it. It's just a question of finding funding. So I think we should do that, especially given the time frame and the urgency that you're bringing up. And once you solve that, I'd love for you to come to my house and then digitize some of mine. I think I got mine all onto CDs, and now I need to once again change them over. So it seems like it's a long-term program that you need, not just this project, but into the future. How do we manage this data, in this library? How do we manage our archives? And I think that's a bigger question, and we should look at that.
I love the idea that Mary just had. I'm sure we all have home videos that need digitizing. No, seriously. I can imagine some kind of a fundraising campaign where we all pay, like we'll all send our videos to the same company to get digitized, and that can help perhaps underwrite what we want to do for the videos that we have. That could be an idea right there. Like, not a bake sale, but a digitizing sale of some sort.
Love the idea.
Maybe there's something there.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I think this is really attractive to so many influential alumni that we have. And so, if people just knew that this was available, I would love to get, I was on Bozo Circus and I was 9 years old when I won the grand prize game. Loved to see that again, so it's like reaching out to people that were in some of our plays and were doing the news. And, because I think that most people think, since the 40s, if that's when, you have some of the tapes, if people knew that those were still available and people's parents were involved, I just think that we can get a really creative way to address the funding issue.
I definitely think it could also be a partnership with the city. So, there's a lot of people in the city and with the Heritage Group that are very interested in preserving the history in Beverly Hills. and already have invested in that in many different ways. So there's many people to talk to, not just alumni directly from school. So it's a great project. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Alex, I'll turn it back over to you. Are you finished now?
Oh, yeah, that's the end of my throat. Thank you again to Ricky and Colby.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. The next item on our agenda is board meeting reports. So I'll just go around. Mrs. Marcus, do you have anything to report?
I attended the PTSA meeting this week at the high school. They, for the first part, did a lot of the updates and what's been going on and what's been happening and what's going to happen. A couple things that were interesting was that there was came out of the principals council communications regarding how to alleviate and stop bullying. It was a very big conversation, and to have a school board policy, there were a lot of ideas that were thrown out during that particular session. They were trying to figure out how they could, and I understand that this is particularly prevalent at Beverly Vista Middle School, where there's seems to be more than there is at the other schools, and the mental health crisis and so on, to some of the things that they were throwing around for ideas of how to deal with the bullying from the standpoint of the parents and helping and so on. And the other item that was on the agenda, or that was talked about, is the conflict between fundraising for the PTAs and the BHEF all going on at the same time, and how you can share getting the money. And they were talking about how they could coordinate it and so that everybody would be able to get some funds for their group. And one of the things that they have coming up is there's I don't remember the data, but I didn't quite catch it. But there's a boutique coming up, and I think it's, did anybody know when the boutique is? I tried to catch that data, and I thought it would be interesting to mention that to the parents and the community. But for the most part, it was a wonderful meeting, and everybody gave their short reports. But the two interesting items were the one on bullying, and then the item about how BHEF and BTAs conflict in trying to raise funds.
I don't have anything to report.
At the Human Relations Commission, there was the Embrace Civility Award, which was handed out by the City Council to Les Bronte, who was the former mayor and a very deserving individual, and that was November 1st, and that's all I have to report for Human Relations Commission.
So a couple of weeks ago, I met with the Wellness Committee. The Wellness Committee is a committee formed up of parents and some administrators, myself, and we are looking at improving the food service options, including healthier food and kosher meals for our students. So we are in the throes of doing that right now, and we should have some nice changes coming up in the next month or so. So look forward to those, and we'll keep everybody informed. I also attended the LACSA meeting virtually on last Monday, and the discussion was on the English Learner Roadmap implementation for systematic excellence, which is called EL Rise. And I'll just read a quick blurb about English Learner Roadmap. And it says, the new English Learner policy explicitly focuses on English learners in the context of the state's efforts to improve the educational system, quality of teaching and learning, and educational outcomes. It centers on standards, curriculum frameworks, assessment, accountability, school improvement, educator quality, early childhood, preschool, social and family support services, and parent community involvement. Its purpose is to promote local capacity building and continuous improvement in each of these areas, and the relationship based on evidence of effectiveness from local experience, as well as the most current rigorous research evidence that speaks to the strengths and needs of the diverse population of English learners. So I'll leave it at that. There's a lot more information, but I'm not going to do it.
Right. It was a great presentation. I also attended the LACSA meeting, and prior I attended the executive board meeting, where we spoke about planning for the future meetings for LACSA, as well as for the legislative body for the advocacy, legislative advocacy for LATSCA and LATSCA. So if anybody would be interested in joining that committee, let me know, because I think it's going to be a very effective committee at really advocating for school districts and what their needs are from a legislative standpoint. So I'm really looking forward to that. We also spoke about the next meeting, which will be in person for school trustees on December the 12th, and that will be at Inglewood. And lastly, the board will be attending the California School Board Association's annual education conference, as well as with our cabinet. And that will be on December the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. So we'll be attending that and hopefully coming back with a lot of great ideas from spending time together and attending the different sessions at that conference. And the last two things I would bring up is that we as a board on November the 9th, we had a board study session to review where we are thus far in this school year on our strategic plan. And so that was really, really informative. All of the staff and the cabinet presented to the board an update on where we are on the strategic plan. And it was a lot of effort was put into it. We're almost at the halfway point where, we're coming into sliding into the end of the first half of the year. And I think it's looking to be a very good year. I think we identified where some challenges are, but on the whole, I think the focus is going to serve us well as a district and as a team. So if you get a chance, take a look at that video. It's on KBEV, and that's all I have right now. Oh, actually, one other thing. We didn't bring this up because it was in consent calendar. The board had a follow-up walkthrough today of the Conheim and the Conheim building, and from our last meeting from 2 weeks ago. And I encourage you all to walk through Conheim. It looks a lot better. They did a major cleaning, a deep cleaning on Conheim, and as they're getting ready to schedule for the painting and those improvements in the interim, they've already started to really freshen up the Conheim, and hopefully all of the students and athletes are seeing and feeling a difference there. And I want to thank our team for doing that, and thank Ken Haas and Raphael and Will Karat for really moving on that and making that happen, and for Tim Ellis as well. So thank you all. It looks so much better already. All right, that's all I have. All right, the next item on the agenda is personnel services. Mr.
Thank you,
Horvath.
Board President Wells and board members. The first item for the board's consideration is an agreement for employment for Executive Director, School Safety.
I'll make a motion to approve the agreement for employment for the Executive Director of School Safety and an agreement for the Executive Director of Athletics, JPA.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, do you have a question or comment?
I would like to have this explained. Because I don't think we had. I think that the community should hear about the reason for it, and that the employment of this, the change and what it means, and so on. And I don't think that this is included here, and I'd like to have that out there so people know what's going on.
This is just some earlier discussion that we had with the board. This is aligning some of the titles within the cabinet. There were previous titles that were director, some were executive director, and this doesn't change the base salary. It does provide a contract for these employees, but it's aligning the our people that have been here for a number of years to the executive director position, just to align what we've had before.
And how is salary affected by that, Dr. Briggy?
So the salary is, the base salary is not impacted. We do have some employees that are on a salary schedule that, like all of our employees, they do gain yearly increases. This particular increase for the athletic director, that position, the JPA, Mr. Ellis's position is is aligned to what teachers, the increase that teachers have. Mr. Mead we're realigning his position as he went from high school principal to the executive director position. Well, actually, director and then executive director.
He was director, and now you're just saying executive director, but it doesn't affect anything else. You're just giving him
right. So with all of our contract employees, which we don't have very many, we do have the funding in there for transportation, for cell phone, and that's just aligning all of those positions together so that we have some consistency.
Any other questions or comments? Mrs. Marcus, are you good?
I am going to be voting no on this, I believe.
Okay, I will call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? All right, the motion passes 4-1 with a preferential vote from Alex Bodden.
Can I make a motion for the approval of agreement with architectural services with architects McDonald, Suter, and Paz Inc. for the Bulldog Aid Wellness Center at Beverly Vista?
I'll second. The motion was made by Mr. Halimi and seconded by myself, and I will invite up Mr. Guzman.
Oh, we're supposed to invite first, aren't we? My bad.
Thank you, President Wells, Dr. Breggy, board members, members of the community. This item is for the approval of the agreement for the architect services with Architects MSP for the Bulldog Wellness Center. Essentially, they'll be helping us with making sure that everything is architecturally correct, helping us with DSA, helping us with all the construction throughout that process. Their fee, we actually went out. We got 3 different quotes from different architects, including ones that we already work with. They were actually the lowest fee. And that's the $26,000 fee that we're seeing there. That is just for the architectural services.
Any questions?
Just a shout out to the administration for moving quick. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anyone else? I too really appreciate you moving on this, and I look forward to having this center up as soon as possible. So thank you.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0 with a preferential vote from Alex Bodden. The next item is professional and official business.
Can I make a motion for the approval of Board of Education goals 2022 to 2023?
I'll second the motion.
Motion was made by Mr. Halimi, seconded by Mrs. Marcus. Any comments?
I'm just proud of this board for taking this step and having board goals. It was a pleasure kicking this around with the board. Shout out to Noah Margot, who spent some time on this with me as well, even though it was very hard to reach. But I'm just glad that we got to do it, and I'm just proud of all of these steps that we've taken as a board.
Me too. I'm really happy. We haven't, as a board, ever set board goals officially, in which we as a board will then self-evaluate ourselves, do a self-evaluation as a board when we get to the end of the school year. And I hope this is a long tradition.
You just took the words right out of my mouth.
Yes. So I think it's just another step in really setting up the structure for our board for good governance. And I think we had some really good conversations around it. And it brings focus to the board and therefore the school.
Also accountability on us as well.
Yes, absolutely. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0 with a preferential vote from Alex Bodden. The next item, may I have approval of superintendent goals 2022-2023.
So moved.
Okay.
I'll second.
Motion was made by Mrs. Marcus and seconded by Mr. Halimi. Any comments or questions?
Only that I'm proud and happy to work with a superintendent that wants goals and wants that accountability, and just what we've done through the strategic plan and now with the superintendent goals. It's a very good sign, and we should be proud. And now we're going to hold you to it.
Yes, I mean, I would say thank you to Dr. Breggy. When we set these superintendent goals, these are more goals than he's ever had, and he proposed them, and really we talked about should we scale this back or in some way, but it's really tied to our strategic plan, and he set them forth, and I really appreciate you wanting to be held accountable in that way. So I'm looking forward to how the second half of our year goes. So thank you very much.
Mayor,
I was going to make a quick.
just a quick comment, and all of these goals are measurable, so we really know if we are really on them, and I'm really looking forward to seeing results based on that, because we can measure them, and that's something that is something we've never really had in the past. It's just been comments and this and that, but this is measurable, and I really am looking forward to that.
I would say also it's been a process. So this really kind of grew out of our evaluation of Dr. Breggy at the end of this past year, and we changed the format of that somewhat as well. So I think it's just much more collaborative, and we are looking forward together as a team. And I appreciate him sitting in the hot seat. So thank you.
I think we finally answered the question: what does better look like? And that's where we've always just said, let's do better. Now we've really nailed that down. So.
And I won't be here when we're holding you accountable, but if you care what I think, you have my cell phone number. Just call me.
I'll send it to him.
I'll be on the phone with you.
Okay. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0 with a preferential vote from Alex Bodden. Okay, next item on the agenda is discussion, or really presentation, for the Beverly Hills High School boys varsity wrestling coach position. And this was a request by one of our community members, if we would please include this on our agenda for this evening. So I would like to invite up Mandy Diner to speak.
Oh, gosh, like, so nice of you all to come for me. Dr. Breggy, board members, thank you. Thank you, wrestlers. Thank you, Coach Ryan. I wrote a lot of stuff down over the past week and a half. My husband can attest to this. But I really just want to say, after hearing each and every one of you and some of your parents speak today, one word that comes to mind, really, that Coach Ryan has brought to each and every one of you is building character. I saw it in my own son, who is now a senior at the high school on this wrestling team. He makes you guys more motivated, hardworking, collaboration. I mean, Daniel, my son, was a freshman, didn't know anything about wrestling, started the wrestling program in the fall. Come spring, COVID hits, everybody's at home. But what does Coach Ryan do in order to keep this team together? Because you are all about team and togetherness, the good and the bad. Is he had these kids on Zoom. I would walk by my son's bedroom, and he's wearing a backpack with books. And I'm sure you guys all remember this, being in your bedrooms doing squats in front of a computer. And if you walk by, it wasn't really pretty, but you guys were together and talking, and you were exercising together. But then there were also some days where you guys were playing games together. Bottom line, Coach kept you guys together. I heard stories from some of the alumni today, how you still keep in touch with the coach, how the coach motivates you guys to continue to be strong students, to become better students, to work hard at SMC and now at USC. I mean, these are stories, and this is proof of what this man does for these kids. That I know my son is, almost graduating, but I see a lot of freshmen and sophomores, and I'm sure your parents will feel the same way, that if you continue to go through this wrestling program with Coach Ryan as your coach, you not only entered the wrestling room as young boys, but I guarantee you will be graduating from this high school as very good young men. So please, board, I ask you, I beg you to please reevaluate and reinstate Coach Ryan as the wrestling coach. Thank you.
Thank you, Mandy. Thank you for taking the time, and I appreciate that you came here tonight, and all of the players and parents that are here as well, and that were here earlier. And to speak before our closed session. So I thank you very much for doing that. The next item that we have on our agenda is public comment and in the public hearing period. And I see that we have many people on the list this evening to speak.
I'm sorry, I put my name down came to speak for
Okay.
Coach Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry if I'm interrupting.
Oh, that's okay.
We left our vacation early and came from Palm Springs just to say our piece.
Okay, as long as I have your name. If not, you can just add it. You can write it down and give it to me. Okay, terrific. So we're going to hear from everybody for public comment. We have many, many people, so I'm asking if you can limit your comments to 2 minutes so that we can get as many people to speak. If not, even less, if that's possible. We have twice as many people speaking now as we did for closed session, but I want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to speak. So please be mindful of that. We'll set the timer. And I hate to cut people off when they're in the middle of it. So it'd be great for me if you would mind your time. And if you can avoid ceding your time and try and keep your time, that would be great as well. But I'll leave that to you on ceding the time. And because this is public comment, I just want to remind you that we can't engage in conversation, but that doesn't mean we're not listening and that we don't care. So I just wanted to say that as well. And thank you again, Mandy, for speaking earlier. So the first person for public comment I'm going to call up is Scott Redston.
Can I also... I'm sorry to interrupt you. I also just want to make one point of clarification, if that's okay, because the last item was listed as a discussion item, but that was not meant to be a discussion of the board, as this is an employment matter that we can't discuss publicly. Right. I just want to make that clear.
Right. We can't engage in a discussion on personnel issues.
Thank you.
Welcome. You have 2 minutes and...
With 2 minutes, President Wells, Vice President Margot, Beverly Hills board members, Dr. Breggy. My name is Scott Redston. I graduated this illustrious high school a long time ago and had all 3 of my children graduate, so I'm very tied to the school. I would like to invite all of you present, your board members, and you attended last year, the second annual Vahag Setian Charitable Foundation tree planting ceremony, which will be Sunday, December 4th, 9 a.m. The location is 1100 Coldwater Canyon Drive Park, which is just beyond Sunset up Beverly Drive, where the fire station is next to the park. We're grateful for the board for your recognition and support in the past of the foundation's work, with so many years that you've committed to helping our organization help you with such things as every 15 minutes, scholarships to students, musical instruments, and the most important thing that the foundation teaches is for children to take responsibility for their decisions, especially not to drive or drink or drive while texting. And if 9 a.m. is too early for all of you, I just want to let you know that our gracious sponsor, Phil's Coffee, will be there, so there's no excuse to have everybody come out. And with that, I would like to give thanks from the Setian family and the Redston family. All have a good, happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you very much. For the board, Dr. Brady said he'll send that information out, so everyone will have it. Thank you for your time. Next, we will hear from Jordan Croney, if I said that correctly. Following Jordan will be Christopher Drake.
Thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Jordan Cranis. My son Colby, who graduated from Beverly Hills High School this past spring, was a wrestler under Coach Faintich for 4 years. I don't know all of the details about the recent incident involving Coach that resulted in these hearings. Excuse me. But as a parent, it's hard for me to imagine how a school representative stepping in to protect a Beverly Hills High School student from potential physical harm could possibly be grounds for suspension or dismissal. More importantly, I'd like to speak to Coach Faintich's, excuse me, sorry, my voice is, Coach Faintich's character. Setting wrestling aside, I could never fully express how important he's been in my son's development as a person. He spent 4 years helping Colby grow and mature, looking out for him in ways that went above and beyond simple coach-athlete relationship. Whether it was in times of success on the wrestling mat or mistakes made off of it, Coach was never anything but 100% supportive and protective of my son. He's been an invaluably positive influence on the young man that Colby is today. Having spent many afternoons alongside other parents, whether at a wrestling meet or a team meal, watching Coach interact with his athletes, I'm confident that each of the parents would say the same things about their kids. Please consider how important Coach has been in so many young lives. Please consider how many young people would be robbed of his positive influence if he is not at the school. Please reconsider your position on Coach Faintich. Respectfully, thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll hear from Christopher Drake.
Hi, I'm Christopher Drake. I was there at the altercation with Ryan. Just want to start off with saying we left the kids' club practice with Vlad, Jan, and Moshe, my coaches. I walked outside, heard a commotion, and I saw Ryan and this student having an altercation. At first, I didn't know what was going on. I just saw him standing in between Lucas, which is one of the wrestlers, and the student. They both were exchanging words. It wasn't very aggressive, but there was some yelling and stuff like that. Because what I came to understand was the student that was talking to Ryan did have an altercation with one of the wrestlers. He gave him a black eye and bullied him throughout the semester and everything. So what I saw was Ryan defending his wrestler in front of all of us, and no one was being very aggressive. Like, Ryan was trying to be kind and everything, but obviously he was upset. And so Ryan just was exchanging words with the kid, and the kid and Ryan were proceeding to escalate the situation, and Ryan did end up kind of moving the kid backward because the kid started saying some things to Ryan, and so Ryan's like, you need to back up. The kid eventually refused to leave after Ryan told him to leave multiple times, and he eventually did get security. And then that ended up leading to the principals coming, and the kid did try to leave, but was stopped by one of the security guards. Yeah, that was about it. So, yeah.
Thank you. Next, we'll hear from Karma. Karma, are you here? Karma, after you will be Sarah and Eva, if you want to. Yeah.
So, hi.
Hi.
I just want to say thank you for listening to me, and I wanted to say that when it comes to being a good coach, Coach Ryan is the best there is. He spends hours of his own free time setting up practices and setting up tournaments for us. He spends hundreds of dollars of his own money for us to join tournaments and compete. He takes weeks out of his summer just to take us out of the state to wrestle high-level kids from around the country so that we can get better. He takes us to other schools to practice with them so that we can get better. He's even set up a kids club for middle schoolers who would like to wrestle. He's doing anything and everything he can for his wrestlers in and outside of the wrestling room. Outside of the wrestling team, we have a lot of wrestlers on the football team. Coach Ryan is at every single football game. He is not there only to announce, but to support his wrestlers, along with the whole football team. To release someone who is so dedicated and works so hard at being a great coach is a huge mistake. I hope that after listening to mine and many other speeches, you will make the correct choice to load Coach Ryan back onto the team. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Sarah.
Hi, thank you. And thank you again, board members. It is an honor to be here speaking and supporting Coach Ryan to help bring the most important elements of this issue to light. The parents, the athletes, the alumni at BHHS are here to request that a full consideration be given to the actions taken against Coach Ryan Faintish this month. Decisions appear to have been made without the full grasp and all the information and the facts in totality. 3 issues stand out. Due process was not observed. First-hand eyewitnesses were not immediately interviewed. Only after a week passed, they had already had the news of the suspension. The eyewitnesses marched proactively of their own volition, holding testimonies of the incident to Matt Horvath. We hope to show that the decision would be different if the full impact of the involved parties had been taken into account sooner. The history of the student involved had a history of bullying and assault against a student and an athlete in the wrestling team. We have pictures of the bullied student with a black eye. The impeccable character of Ryan Faintish, a coach and a teacher who has devoted 25 to 35 hours a week for 10 years to a program here at BHHS, who my son isn't even in anymore. That's how impactful he was. He draws devotion from his wrestlers, their parents, and the program across the state of California. Coach Faintish is the best, most beloved, most action-oriented, results-driven teacher and coach in the Beverly Hills High School District and the school district. Coach Ryan stepped into a situation involving a student who had been bullying and recently assaulted. He put himself at risk in order to protect a student. Imagine what would have happened if he hadn't. Quoting Dr. Breggy and Mrs. Dicadrell and Mr. Stewart, I have ceded time. On the October 20th email from Breggy and Dicadrell and Stewart about an altercation between a student and a security guard, the quote is, "Snippets of video captured are not representative of the facts of the entire situation." And that is certainly the case with regard to this video. I know there are many more statements coming, but I can say that Coach Ryan was an integral part in developing self-worth and character for my son, Ben Mazes, who went from being an insecure freshman who himself was bullied and no one ever stepped in on his behalf, along with his 2 sisters who also were bullied and were assaulted and attacked at the hands of students and at the hands of staff, and nobody ever stepped in. He went on to become the captain of the team, valedictorian, and is now a successful student at Brown University. And that is, give myself some credit, my husband some credit, and the rest goes to Coach Faintish. I have no doubt that his impact has made everything happen. He's a hero, he's a standout in BHUSD community, and he does not pander to privilege, but instead he draws a line on higher ground, what I view as the mountain of character that he has built in the students and athletes in our community who have worked with him. You say lead with love. Coach Ryan is a role model for this mission. Leading with love is not an easy mission. It's not a passive mission. It means supporting, speaking up, speaking out, and being a fastidious and steadfast guardian at the gateway between love and hate. Coach Ryan is the model for all of this. Thank you for the time.
Eva Katz.
Can you all hear me? All right, fantastic. I stand before you as a parent, but most importantly, as a single mother. I'm gonna embarrass you a little bit, Will, and I'm sorry. It's tough. It's really, really tough being a single mother of 3 teenage boys. And because of that, I'm constantly looking for male mentors that can really, really show my children the way, show my children the right way, because of everything that's going on in the world. There's so much darkness. You just talked about it. I was thrilled to see that you're having all of these, the Transgender Day of Remembrance and all sorts of things, because we have violence all the time. What we need are people that step in, that show our children the right way and to the right way forward. And Coach Ryan has been that for Will. I text him all the time. You said 35, 40 hours a week. I'm thinking 30 of those hours are just answering my texts, and that has nothing to do with wrestling. He is that man. He is so special. I beg you, I implore you, I am standing here as a parent. Mrs. Marcus, I remember you from Hawthorne as a substitute teacher. You had my children. This is who I am. I'm standing before you, and I'm asking you to please, please reconsider. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Behera? Behera? Bahar? Ah, my goodness, I'm sorry. Okay. Next is Adele. After Adele is Saraya.
All right. Thank you for letting me talk. I don't have a letter or a thing written or anything. I'm going to say this straight from the heart. If this was a court with a jury and a judge, Coach would be charged with felony. But if he was in a court that was based on morals and true human principles, he would be a hero. Because stepping in to defend someone in need is what we have to do as human beings. And you penalizing him for being someone who helps another person is horrendous, and I don't agree with that. And I'm just saying this from my bleeding heart and from everyone's heart in here, that we need him, and you're taking away an opportunity for us to be great people instead of these average people that I'm surrounded with in school. So please reconsider your decision in taking away a part of us and a part of Beverly. Thank you.
Thank you. Adele? Oh, I'm so sorry. The next person is Saraya. Nafa? Sure. What's your name?
I'm Gabriel Nafa.
Gabriel, welcome.
Thank you so much. Damn, this is hard, but damn. Okay. Okay. Dear board, thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak tonight. Damn. I'm good. Okay. I'm here today to ask that you please reconsider your decision about Coach Ryan Faintage. You see, he isn't just a coach to our children, to us. Coach Ryan is a mentor who puts his heart and soul into this wrestling program. I read some. Well, my mom read somewhere. I read somewhere that a mentor is someone who sees more talent and ability within you than you see in yourself, and helps bring it out of you. I know that I'm not the only person who has seen and felt that, like, oh my God. Yeah, so sorry. We've read and known the benefits of having a mentor for our youth. We know how important it is for a coach to motivate a child to step out of their comfort zone and challenge themselves like they thought they never could. The first day after Gabe, me, first track run, after our first track day, my mom asked me how it went, and with beaming eyes, he said Coach Ryan had challenged him and motivated to do it. He said I could. He said I could do it, so I did it. And Mom, I actually did it. And it was an insane challenge, and I got through it. And I thank Coach Ryan for that so much. In this short time, in our short emails, I felt dedicated. He's to these students. Not having him as the coach would highly affect these. Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Gabriel. You did great. Next is Vlad Streichman. After Vlad is William. And then Thomas Golan.
Okay. I'm going to thank you again for letting me speak. And I'm going to start by saying that you see how many people turn out to this board meeting. You see how many scared children are trying to speak here in front of you guys. And I'll say they wouldn't be doing this if they didn't care that much. And I'm going to give you my account of what happened since I was a witness and about the whole process and kangaroo court that occurred during this. So I was there during the night of the incident, and it displayed what Ryan always does, de-escalating a bad situation and keeping his wrestlers safe. Which staff member offered to walk the assaulted kid home? No one did, besides Ryan and Sensei Boris. Or in fact, what has the administration done about the kid being assaulted? In fact, we saw the kid that assaulted the kid sitting at Starbucks unscathed. Nothing. The administration has done absolutely nothing about it. But what they did do is fire the coach that brought that kid to the principal's attention and prevented another fight from happening on campus. I'm going to recount the events about the last night because I don't think administration shared any of these witness accounts, and we had to make them to hear these accounts. So on the night of November 2nd, I was walking out of the athletic building after the conclusion of our kids club practice. I was walking with Chris, Jan, and Moshe, and all of us were coaches, so we're usually the last ones to leave the building after all the kids leave. Ryan left a few minutes ahead of us because we were going to meet up and grab a meal like we always do. So as we're walking out, I hear a commotion, some yelling, and I see some kid was in Ryan's face, actively yelling, "You're not going to do anything about it," and "come on." Piecing together from the context of that being exchanged about a black eye and beat up, I assumed Lucas got assaulted by the kid because Ryan was standing in between Lucas and the kid. The kid being centimeters away from Ryan's face, spit almost being exchanged between them. Ryan asked the kid to leave multiple times, and the kid was refusing and got agitated. Ryan created distance at the time by extending his hand, and then Ryan said he's getting security. Jose, actually, in fact, that caught and escorted the kid back to the principal's. And the kid was still saying, "I'm not leaving, you're not going to do anything about it." Ryan sprinted to the swim gym, got Jose, and then the kid tried to flee the scene. The principals, at the time when they were brought to their attention, told us rudely to leave. This is not a TV show or event. They wouldn't even ask us what happened. Ryan told us he'll meet us a century, but Ryan did not end up meeting us with that night and did not share anything until Monday after, when he said he was suspended and asked if the HR department reached out to us to get our witness statements. They haven't. We had to go to the district office and demand a meeting with the HR supervisor. And we had to wait approximately 30 minutes to give our accounts. And that's about all I have to share for now. Thank you.
Thank you. William? Okay.
All right, so first I want to thank the board on the Beverly Hills Board of Education. I'd just like to introduce myself as William Glettner. I'm a member of 3 varsity sports at Beverly Hills. I just want to speak about Coach Ryan and his character. He's improved not only my character, but everyone's character around him. And there's a family created inside Beverly Hills Wrestling where everyone supports each other. This is shown as Lucas supported Daniil as he was getting bullied and stopped something that I would not like to point fingers, but the administration was unable to do. This shows that the environment that Ryan has created inside his wrestling program, where everyone supports each other and it's a welcoming environment to anyone who's willing to join wrestling. I think that anyone who is wrestled under Ryan can say this under his tenure of the past 10 years. And not only that, but how much he's contributed to this school when many administrators fail to do so, such as how he came to every football game to help us when not many would look our way. Overall, I'd like to thank Coach Ryan and all the wrestlers for everything they've done, not only for me, for my mother, but for this school as a whole. And I'd like to ask you to contribute, or I'd like to contribute in the act and petition the board to overturn this decision, which is made with what many believe not enough time to consider all the facts of this. And I believe that there should be due process as he's an employee to this government. And I believe that not only has he demanded it, but he deserves it. Not only after what he's done for this school, but what he's done for us as individuals. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Thomas Skolin.
I spoke to you all earlier, so I'm going to allocate my time to my dad, Lauren Skolin.
Welcome.
Hello, thank you. Sorry for speaking up before, but my wife and I drove back from our Thanksgiving holiday in 5 o'clock traffic. That's how much this means to us and what Ryan has really meant to not only our son, but I know all of these kids, and I've watched them go from, frightened little kids to confident young men. And he created a family, and it's very hard to do. And when my son came here to Beverly and didn't know anyone in 9th grade, he said he was going out for wrestling, and I kind of rolled my eyes because I wrestled, and I didn't think there was a community for it out here. And I got to say, I was shocked. So Ryan taught them how to be not only good wrestlers, but hard workers, focused, and good sports. And I have to say, they still come. My son's graduated. A lot of these guys have. And he's brought them in as coaches. And I tell so many people the difference with kids nowadays. Oh, they're this way, they're that way. And say, but you know what? It sounds corny, but sports and the right coach makes an unbelievable difference. And I got to take my hat off to this guy and everything. And quickly, aside from that, I've heard a lot of talk on the board about lip service to anti-bullying, and we spoke about it on this panel and that panel. And a case where a kid has been the victim of a campaign of emotional torment, being followed, waiting outside for him, beating him up. No one's doing anything. How can the one person who tried to do something with the minimal amount of resistance, effort, whatever you want to say, he's the one punished? It's like something's not right when there's all these meetings and everything, and we're here about a kid that's being bullied and no one's doing anything. So, I don't know. To me, this guy's a great guy. He de-escalated a situation that I saw one time when someone was picking on the kids at Century City. And I thought, wow, this is a guy I really want to have that influence on my son. But in school in general, something has to be done for the bullying. It can't just be, well, this kid can be bullied and tormented and someone's stalking him, laying him wait, beating him up, going to his house and saying, I'm going to do more. We see what happens when that goes unchecked. I know it's difficult. I don't really know the answer. But getting rid of a guy like that has made us feel like part of the family, these kids still coming back after they graduate, coaching middle schoolers, that would be a really bad thing and a shame. So thanks for hearing me, Ryan.
Thank you. Next, we'll hear from Michal.
Good evening, members of the board and Dr. Breggy. You know
I love BHUSD, and I know how good our district can be. So I say the following, not to put our school district down, but to emphasize the impact of your decisions. Coach Ryan is an inspirational leader, not just in his sport, but in how and what it means to be a good person. Even through the actions that led to his termination, Coach Ryan showed integrity and commitment to his values. Meanwhile, BHUSD has also taught the wrestlers a few lessons, and I feel the need to mention some today. 1, a good deed done imperfectly will be punished. Is this what you want to teach our kids? That they shouldn't stand up to bullies? That you shouldn't, say, give CPR to someone for fear of getting sued because you might break a rib? I hope not. That's why we have things like the Good Samaritan law, because no one is perfect, but trying to do the right thing is what counts. 2, people don't deserve second chances when they make mistakes. Is this what you want to teach our kids? I hope not. Everybody makes mistakes, and everybody deserves a second chance. BHUSD must foster a community where we learn from our mistakes rather than being ruined by them. 3, BHUSD does not live by the values it professes. Is this what you want to teach our kids? That words mean more than actions? I hope not. BHUSD's website states that you are committed to protecting students by, quote, taking immediate steps to intervene, which is what Coach Ryan did. His termination means that students will not be able to rely on adults here and that bullies will roam free. So while Coach Ryan's actions may not have been perfect, I, as a parent, would pick his set of morals every day. Ultimately, your choice to fire Coach Ryan has shown what BHUSD truly cares about. I hope you will reconsider and turn this incident into a positive learning experience. Thank you.
Next, we're going to hear from Daniel. Daniel Salkin. Sorry.
Members of the school board, I just want to start off by saying thank you for letting us speak here tonight, because that itself is a vital part of how we address this wrong that has happened to our beloved coach. We've not given Ryan the due process that we need. We have not covered all of the bases. As we've heard from testimony from some of the witnesses, they had to actively seek out to be heard and to get their evidence to be heard. And I think that's wrong. We should hear all the evidence before we make a decision, because I know Ryan, and I know all the things he's done for us. I know what he does for the team. I know all the time he puts in, all the energy he puts in, all the money he puts in. I know how much he cares for us. I know how much this means to him. I know that every single match he will be there watching you individually and making sure you do your best. I know every practice, even when you're just feeling miserable and you want to just lay down and quit, he'll be there to make sure you're still there. And I know that Ryan cares about the school. I know that he makes us go to every football game. I know that he wants us to have school spirit, and I know he wants us to support the school. So when the school turns his back on him, and it doesn't give him the ability to defend himself, it doesn't give him the ability to come back and have a second chance after he did something that many would say is heroic, I think that shows badly on us. I think we should do our best to reconsider and take a look at the facts, take a look at what Ryan has done for everyone, and just look at this all over again. Thank you.
Thank you. Daniel Wynn.
Hi, I'm Daniel Wynn. Thanks for letting me speak today. I spoke to you guys a bit earlier. I think that it's pretty clear from all the people that have shown up for this board meeting today and earlier how much we all care about Ryan. And it's because he is such a great person, both as a coach and as a human being, and he's impacted our lives as wrestlers and as people. And personally, I've never had another mentor like him. He's been an inspiration to me as long as I've known him, and I just think that firing him would be such a great loss for the younger generations of kids, for the wrestlers in wrestling right now, because of the impact that he's made on me and countless other people. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we're going to hear from Lucas Cornier. Lucas has 4 minutes. He's Carol's and his.
Good evening, everyone. To reintroduce myself, I'm Lucas Cornier, the varsity captain of the Beverly Hills wrestling team. And I'd like to start off by saying I'm a direct eyewitness of the situation that took place on November 2nd. I'd like to begin with a quote by Mark Twain. It goes, "Nothing spoils a good story like the arrival of an eyewitness." Now, what the board has is a story. I understand and I'm aware that a video was leaked to the press, and I just don't understand the intention or the benefit of the board putting a spotlight on a staff member or a situation like this. Now, what is not captured in that video is the verbal assault of Nikita towards Coach Ryan, the utter disrespect by Nikita towards Coach Ryan, and his plain out just egging Coach on throughout the whole incident. What is also not captured in that video are the countless altercations and beatings that Daniil faced from these bullies. What's not captured are these people waiting for him, the fear they instilled on him to a point where he's not even feeling safe to return home from campus. Now, I understand that none of this has been captured, but to fire Coach Ryan for defending someone who cannot defend themselves, for standing up for people who were left powerless in this situation, and to fire a wrestling coach for diffusing a situation the only way that he knows how is just not right, and it's not something I can stand for. I understand the situation could have been handled better. I think we can all agree on that. I hope moving forward, that we can reinstate our coach, and I understand possibly remedial steps, anger management, whatever must be done, but we want our coach back. Reinstate Coach Ryan. Thank you.
Next, we'll hear from Jeremy Zarnigan.
Hello, my name is Jeremy Zarnigan, and I'd like to share a few words on my own experiences with Ryan. I've known Ryan since 2018. I first met him after friends encouraged me to try wrestling. I had just transferred into Beverly Hills High School and had no clue what to expect, but I decided to give it a try. To make a very long story short, being coached by Ryan was a life-changing experience. The word coach doesn't do justice to the service Ryan provides not only to these athletes, but also this community. And during practices and learning from Ryan pushed me far outside my comfort zone and allowed me to grow and mature to such a degree that words cannot describe it. If we lose Ryan, we lose so much more than a coach. We're losing a mentor, a role model, and an absolutely outstanding member of this community. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is, I'm not sure if this is Reet. Can you see that? Reef? Sorry.
So to begin, as somebody came in as an outsider looking into this meeting here, we would think that this would be a celebration of Ryan Fanich, not the testimonies of his alumni, his current wrestlers, trying to convince whoever it may be, the powers that be, to reinstate him or, whatever the decision is. But speaking of all the facts and looking at it from a perspective where everyone's told their story now, it looks like a systematic failure from wherever the situation should have been stopped at. That a gentleman in Ryan Fanich, a fantastic coach, a role model to me and every single one of these people here, had to step in his own time. Not because he could have just called security. He wanted to call security, but he wanted to defuse the situation that moment because he was scared that his wrestler was going to come back and get attacked again. And this isn't one or two assaults from what I've heard. This is a series of assaults and a series of bullying. And the fact that it got down to Ryan Fanich needing to step in shows that it wasn't his fault. It was his success at stopping this. And it doesn't seem like it was it was taken seriously by anyone except Fanich. And I'd rather reconsider the facts about that and think about not what Ryan did, but what this school could have done too. Completely selfless act he did, and he's getting punished for something that no one had the bravery to do. And I think that is absolutely inexcusable. Thank you very much.
Lee Ross Travis.
Hi.
Hi.
They say you shouldn't follow, I think, kids and animals. And I'm following my son. So I addressed you guys earlier. Thank you for listening to me. And I don't want to restate what I did and I said before. What I'd like to say, however, is to sum up a little bit. But I'd like to start with, hopefully, a point of agreement. All of you guys sitting here are here because you have a sense of mission and a sense of duty to serve this community. And I'm sure that you come at this from the very best intentions. Look out. Here's your community. They're right here. They've told you what they want. They've given you facts that show that what Ryan did that day, he did out of a sense of defending not just his wrestler, but simply diffusing a situation that could have led to violence. Unfortunately, that video was leaked, and I saw it for the first time actually after I spoke to you. And what I saw was a minimal use of force. I saw also wrestlers coming from behind, and had that fight started, it would have been a melee very quickly. So I'd like to encourage you to take a look at the totality, not just of who Ryan is and what he means to this community and what this community says he means to them, but also what actually happened there. Someone took responsibility, imperfectly, but took responsibility when no one else was there to take responsibility. Now, we have an opportunity here to make this right. You have an opportunity to make this right. We don't. You have the responsibility to make this right. Ryan's not a danger to anybody. He's not going to hurt anybody. He's going to lead young men and a young woman forward. And I ask that you give him the opportunity to do that. Make a nuanced decision that enables all parties to move forward and to give everybody in this room something that they need and they want and what is just. Thank you.
Jad. I may say it wrong. Jad.
very clear, J-A-D.
J-A-D.
Do you have the last name by any chance?
Yes, maybe. K-A-N-A-A-N. No? What next is Jaden. If you want to come up after, you can. Jaden?
Yep, right here. Let me just get notes. I just want to say thank you to the school board for allowing this. My name is Jaden Bamero, and let me start. Ryan Faintage, the head coach of wrestling, is one of the most life-changing figures I've met. And before I joined wrestling, I was a small, wimpy kid who had self-esteem issues. The first time I actually met Coach, I described myself as the worst at everything. But he helped me change that. I gained body confidence, responsibility, and most importantly, happiness. Coach has changed me for the better. He is single-handedly the adult I respect the most. Sorry, Dad. I can find few words that can describe him. He will change your life. While some coaches might make you strong physically, while Coach will do that, he will also make you mentally strong. He will make you a better person and change you for the better. People have told me that I've changed and matured after joining wrestling. Until I met Coach, I had no cares in the world and no goals to think of, nothing to achieve. But Coach gave me the ability to strive for greatness. When I found out that Coach was suspended, I went home immediately bawling my eyes, as it felt like a part of my life was stripped away. And I didn't realize how important someone is until you lose them. I want to thank Coach Ryan for everything he has taught me and the wrestling team, and I hope he can continue teaching the athletes in Beverly Hills High School, and I hope you can reconsider your suspension on Coach Ryan. Me and the whole wrestling team at BHHS would appreciate that. Thank you for your time.
Daniel? Or Daniil?
Yeah, I don't have much to say, and I'd like to start out by saying I'm not really in the best shape, in the optimal shape to deliver a good speech, but I like to give my 2 times on Coach Ryan. I'd like to express my bottomless gratitude for not only him being a great coach, but just being the only staff member, the only adult at the school willing to do something so that this kid just doesn't just get away after he just unprovokedly, is that a word? Swing at me at Walden Drive on Halloween when I was just hanging out with my friends. And the worst part is when the school administration was supposed to deliver justice, they swiftly suspended Coach. But the kid that assaulted me got away unscathed. Nothing was done about it. On the brighter side, I'd like to say that I don't think that there's ever been a coach or an adult, sorry Mom, that has had so much impact on, I don't know how to say it, manhood, masculinity, on my confidence, and on my athletic ability as Coach Ryan Faintage did. Not the soccer coach at this school. That guy just gave up on me. And definitely not the wrestling coach I had for 4th grade, which was middle of nowhere in New Jersey. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Next, we're going to hear from Moshe Azizi. Or is it Moshe?
Okay, testing. Okay. I appreciate you guys. I'd first like to address the turnout of people who have come. Let this serve as an example for the care and, how good of a coach Ryan is. I don't think you'd see this for any other faculty at Beverly High School. He's changed all of our lives. I already stated that when I spoke to you guys earlier. I'd like to, get down to the facts of what happened. I think that's most important for you guys. I understand you guys have a job to do. So let's get down to it. I was there. I had left the room with Chris and some of the other coaches, and we saw that Ryan was speaking with this person who had assaulted Benil. And, he was mad, understandably. He was very mad and very stern towards him, and he wanted to put the fear in him to know to never, ever, ever, ever try and bully anybody at the school, that it's unacceptable and that's not something that will ever fly. That's why he did what he did. What else? I have some other notes. So, yeah. From there, he was put in a situation where he had to take care of it right then and there. And then from there, he got security. He de-escalated the situation the best he could because he was stuck in that situation, and that's what he had to do. In addition, I'd like to just finish it by saying we're here. We'd like to get this solved right now as soon as possible. I understand that there's, some deliberating that needs to happen between you guys. But from our end, this is like the Oscar speech when they have the music played. I'll just finish off like this. This is not going to go away, and I can speak for all of us. We're willing to fight. We're here today, but it's not going to go away after this. We are going to stand with him until there's a resolution, and we're ready. And I know that all of them are thinking the same. So I hope we can figure this out.
Thank you. Daniel Heller.
Thank you. My name is Daniel Heller. Graduated class of 2019. When I met Ryan Fanich, I was a short, chubby kid with very little self-confidence. By the time I graduated Beverly High School, I was a top 20 wrestler in the state of California, CIF champ, 3-time Athlete of the Year, 3-time league champion, Hall of Fame inductee, and frankly, a much better human. Upon learning of Ryan's dismissal, I'm shocked, upset, saddened he will not be able to help more students grow and excel in the future. It's a terrible loss for Beverly Hills High School. I wrestled from 2015 to 2019, and the entire time, Ryan encouraged and challenged me in all facets of life and personal development and was a source of strength through the hardest times. This has not stopped. Ryan is my strongest and most reliable mentor to this day. Ryan's commitment is first and foremost to his own athletes. A very close second is to the entire Beverly Hills community at large, and especially the athletic departments here at large. Over the years, he's coached and supported a multitude of different programs at the high school and established a kids club. He wants to foster the next generation of talent and build on these kids. He doesn't coach for a paycheck, really. He's coaching as a volunteer of his time, and he wants to develop people into the best versions of themselves. Who else is doing this for Beverly? Ryan helped me gain self-confidence and learn how to lead my peers through wrestling. Ryan pushed me to excel academically and stay in AP courses. Ryan showed me how to use sport to overcome the sadness of my parents' divorce and my older brother's cancer diagnosis. Ryan was a beacon of light and a source of strength after my mother passed away my sophomore year of college. Ryan is a mentor as I've applied for jobs. Ryan has enriched my sense of morality and doing the right thing. Ryan has always pushed me to give back to others. Ryan has made me the best version of me. Ryan has encouraged every single other kid in this room to be the best they can be. Ryan upholds the most professionalism and appropriate conduct of any member of the athletic department I have seen, and has continued to uphold a strong culture and sense of what is right in his actions for his athletes and athletes at large. Everybody makes mistakes. He's revered by other coaches in Southern California and throughout the state. He's on the advisory board of CIF Southern Section. I got a lot more to say here, but Ryan is an incredible human, and I'm sure there's a way we can work out something to get him back and figure this out.
Next, we're going to hear from Ken Salkin.
So again, honorable members of the board and Dr. Branke, thank you so much for giving me a chance to speak. As I've listened to the stories today, what I'm hearing is really a manifestation of every one of the values of the Beverly Hills School District about excellence, community, wellness, inclusion, safety, and integrity. Also, since the earlier meeting today, I saw that article, I saw the video, and Dr. Breggy, there's some comments attributed to you there. And what it said effectively is, we were concerned about the situation. There's a video, it shows Ryan pushing, and I know, and it's not as good as it could be. And then you say to the effect of, and understandably, we want to get to the bottom of this. So we quickly did a thorough investigation. No rock was left unturned. And we came to a conclusion where right now Ryan is effectively terminated. And what I submit to you and to this board is maybe that was a little too quick. There were rocks that were unturned. There were not all eyewitnesses and relevant parties fully questioned and vetted. And that is why people are saying it with emotion in different ways tonight, but that's why I am specifically asking you what matters, what is a reason to change a decision when you're dealing with somebody's future is not just the emotion. It's the totality of the circumstances. It's the facts. It's the details. It's the facts of why a student who came forward and was bullied, Ryan was the one trying to do the right thing. He took action. It's the details and what was going on in Ryan's mind, even though he did push a student, agreed, but trying to instill the values of safety and protect all students. It's the same reason why we want students. A student tonight started this speech with talking about integrity. And I will quote again, in order to achieve educational excellence, we must act with integrity. And the integrity, I think the students, and some of them it's uncomfortable, have come forward to talk to. I think those facts and those details really matter. And I ask you as a board, and especially Dr. Breggy, a man with integrity, I ask you to please, if there is a rock that was not looked under, to understand those details and the facts. And it is those facts, that is a reason to change a decision. And that is the reason what I believe the facts will show when you take the totality of everything, why Ryan should be reinstated as the coach. And I ask you to take a fresh look, and I thank you.
Thank you. Next we'll hear from Ryan Pantic.
Thank you. Before I begin, I would ask for perhaps a couple minutes of extra time, considering I'm at the center of this really tear-jerking version of It's a Wonderful Life. Sorry, moment of levity. A lot of people came here today angry and upset and wanted an apology on the way this matter was handled. And it is I that owe them that apology. My heart was certainly, as everyone knows, in the right place. But the choices I made to make contact physically with a student of Beverly Hills was not the correct way to handle the situation. While I perceived a threat, and while I truly wanted to protect and safeguard my wrestlers, there was a better way to handle. Obviously, I don't take this job as a coach for the money, though I do thank District Director Tim Ellis for considerably increasing my salary over the years. And any coach that's watching knows that we take this job because it's a way to create connections, to create a community so that when we go through hard times or successes, but as we are in a hard time right now, it's a little bit more of it's a little bit more applicable, so that you have people to lean on. I have a lot of people to lean on, and I am truly touched and proud that people have come out to speak in my defense. They have come from out of town. They have driven long distances, and they made it a priority that I am still a person of importance in their life. Is it okay if thank you. That I am still a person of importance in their life is truly affecting. We try to build a community that we are proud of in a family, and I know there is family members of mine watching back home and other wrestling family members of mine watching. And to them, I would like to thank you for your support. But at the same time, let me be clear. We want to be role models. We want to be leaders. And perhaps the best thing I can do is admit, truthfully, honestly, that this was not the way to handle the situation. I would like to apologize to the board members, to Dr. Breggy, to Tim Ellis, to Dr. Horvath, that have been put in an impossible situation. I would like to thank them for their kind regards in telling me that I was truly a valuable member of the community. It has been my honor and pleasure to be part of this school district for 11 years. I know that there are many of you that recognize my voice because I announced the football games, and probably now you see why I just wanted you to hear my voice now that I am seen. That's my sense of humor. I love this community. I love this school. I think everyone here that is sitting in front today that has been discussed already are truly remarkable leaders. As you can tell from our terrific women's tennis team that won CIF and many other teams, the discussing of issues of transgender support, we are a beacon of light, and this community is truly great. I would like to remain to be a part of this community. I am willing to follow any path that sets me out and lets me return to be a part of these wonderful individuals' lives. To be a coach is to take a long journey. A long journey. 4 years is a long time. You start at the beginning, you instill confidence, you go over speed bumps, you fight obstacles, and in the end you try to shape a message and morale that the kid or the student can take with them for the rest of their life, so that when they are faced with tough times, they have something that they are proud of to look back upon. Wrestlers, thank you for giving me something that I have been very proud to represent, that has helped me get through my mistake and this very tough time. I thank the board. I thank you all. Thanks again.
Thank you. Next, we're going to hear from Daniel Diner.
I want to start off by saying that I'm grateful for the members of the board who are allowing me to speak tonight. and all the wrestlers that are here, my parents that are here, and especially Coach Ryan. I want to tell you a little about how Coach Ryan has impacted my life. He has without a doubt changed me as a person. If I were to look back freshman year before I started wrestling, I would see myself as a kid who wasn't motivated to do anything, had no discipline, and little to no confidence of much of what I did. I can say that Coach Ryan has shaped me into the person that I am today. He had the whole team learn to be disciplined and motivated. He had us show up to team practices, events, and tournaments on time and ready to work and get the job done. He was never late to anything, and he never missed a day of practice. He even came to practice after having a dental procedure and even surgery. If that is not dedication, I don't know what is. We as a team know if Coach made it to practice on those days, there's no reason we shouldn't make it to practice. From freshman year to now, he has made me stronger physically and mentally. Coach has built this program from the ground up. He designs all the warm-ups that we wear today, the singlets, and even the wrestling mats that we wrestle on at all our home meets and duels. Under his coaching, this team has been back-to-back league champions and had many masters and even state qualifiers. My favorite poem that I want to share with you guys a little bit is the Bridge Builder poem, which states, "A man who builds a bridge for future generations." Coach Ryan, to me, is that bridge builder who paves the way for success for anyone who comes his way, and I hope he can continue to do so for future wrestling generations at Beverly. Thank you.
Okay, the last speaker is Serene, unless I missed anyone else. So please, if I missed you, just let me know. Go ahead.
Good evening. I wasn't planning on speaking, and I'm not very good at speaking, but I just want to say that my son is in middle school, and he's been wrestling with Coach Ryan for the last year and a half, and this has really been a blessing in our lives because he, like everyone said, he motivates, he inspires, he instills good morals and values. And the difference I've seen in my son the last year and a half, it just makes me really upset if he's not going to have that mentor throughout, his high school years. And so I just wanted to say that, and thank you for everything you've done, Coach Ryan, so far up until then for my son. And I know the other parents of the middle school children in your program that are sitting over there in the corner. I know that they feel the same way as well. So I just wanted to say that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That completes our public comment, but I know that we're going to move into board comment, so we're going to go around, and I'll let Alex start. But I just want to thank you all for being here, and I'm really proud of all of you for speaking. I'm sure I know that you're coaches, obviously, but I'm really impressed by each of you for getting up and speaking like you did. It was really, really something. So thank you very much for doing that.
I just want to thank every single person who came and spoke tonight, especially the students. I know it's not easy to speak in front of a room, so, a full room of adults, and this is probably the fullest board meeting that I have been to in my term. And I just wanted to say that, so I've been watching the board meeting since I was 13 years old. This is not the first time I've seen one of these meetings, but it is my first time in my own term where something like this has come to my attention. And one of the difficulties that I've never experienced until today is my job as student board member, and I know students, this is a message to my fellow students, is that I know a lot of you guys don't know what my purpose is on the board. And my job is to represent you, and it's to represent your interests, and I will always do that. But as an elected representative, I was elected last spring. It is my job to use my discretion in certain matters. But in this matter specifically, I do not have discretion because it is an employment issue, and students cannot legally have discretion over those kind of issues. So I just wanted to say that. But seriously, you guys are amazing, and I'm so proud of all of you for speaking tonight. So thank you, and happy Thanksgiving.
Well, I want to thank all of you for coming out to speak tonight. I really appreciated hearing from you. And the past 2 weeks, I have been very troubled by the incident that took place at the high school. I've heard from parents, students, alumni, community members, and this evening I would just like to add a few of my own thoughts. There are no winners as a result of this incident so far, but the biggest losers are my students, and you heard me say the word, my students. The students have lost the trust, the coaching skill, relationships, dedication, and much more that has been built over the years of their being in high school. I started to attend the wrestling matches when a former student became involved in the program. And in the short time, I got to know Coach Ryan. He was a committed connection to his students. The program has grown under his leadership, and his dedication to Beverly Hills High School was very evident. The wrestling program flourished under his tenure. His reputation spread, and many schools have tried to lure him away, but he would not leave his wrestlers. Yes, this man made a mistake. He acknowledged it tonight. He worked for us for almost 11 years, and he has not one blemish on his record. I am one that has feelings that this was overextending the punishment. I have said that, and I will say it again. My mantra has always been students first, and I want to apologize to our students because I believe I've let them and we've let them down. On a different note, I attended the play that went wrong this past weekend. I can only describe it in one word that I coined, fantabulous. If there is any indication of the quality of what we can expect by our performing arts program, I can't wait to see the musical Mean Girls. And I also, this was mentioned early, but I had it in my notes, I want to thank the Beverly Hills High School PTSA and the Beverly Vista PTA for including the board in the lovely Thanksgiving luncheons that I attended. I know that the certificate and classified staff appreciate this gesture, and I look forward to every year and I get the chance to see some of the teachers and the classified in the school district. One other thing, I plan to be at Bahag's thing. I heard about it. I was at the open air market. I bumped into his father, and I had planned to go, and I was glad that it was mentioned. I did have it in my notes. I encourage all of you to go. I had Bahag as a student many, many, many years ago at Hawthorne. He was in my elementary science classes, and I remember him so well. And last but not least, I just want to thank the community for their vote of confidence in returning me to my seat on the board. Thank you very much.
I want to start by thanking the entire community for coming out. I especially want to thank the student. As Alex said, this is not easy. You guys showed a lot of bravery, a lot of conviction. Some of you have been here for many hours now since the earlier board meeting, and it really doesn't go unnoticed, and speaks volumes about the situation. So thank you all for coming out. We said earlier we can't talk about an employment matter. I'm not going to talk about the employment of Coach Ryan, but what I will say is that it is undeniable the impact he's had on so many people in this community, and that is not a trial. Okay, the what he did for everyone in this room, students, families, is undeniable, the positive impact that he's made. And I didn't know Coach Ryan before. I didn't know the impact he made, but seeing that impact is really inspiring. Some of the stories today made me emotional. My wife will say that I'll cry at anything. I won't. We heard about the values and the spirit. We heard the word family over and over and over again, and it's really inspiring to see, and it's just it's very impactful. So thank you for everyone for sharing your stories. I do feel it's important, though, to just say that it's important for this community to stay together. Allegations like videos were leaked. Videos were not leaked. In the same news article, that was mentioned, it says, and I'll quote, "A security camera video showing the incident surfaced after BHUSD received a public records request for it." This is not a conspiracy. This does not bring anybody joy. The fact that we are here and we're having this conversation, this is a tough situation. As many of Coach Ryan's former students pointed out, which I just want to acknowledge. I heard parents mention some things that sounded like a conspiracy, but students noticed that this is a tough situation, and I do appreciate the students that pointed that out. Thank you for noticing that, and I think it's a testament to Coach Ryan coming before us tonight and acknowledging the situation that he has put the administration in, the board in. And I think that speaks to the kind of leader that he is for taking responsibility in front of his students and in front of this community. I won't speak about the employment matter, but I will say, as someone who has, been at companies that I've led that have employed hundreds of people, but over 1,000 people, I will say that when you're faced with a tough situation, there is no path forward unless there is an acknowledgement of what's happened. And I will say that I was very pleased to have Coach Ryan here tonight acknowledging the situation. Thank you.
So I had not till tonight met any wrestlers at the school, and I didn't realize what a hearty, wonderful group you guys all are. And it's, yeah, really, I mean, I really see the camaraderie, and I'm really impressed that you all rallied to come here, and it is late, and a lot of you spoke from the heart. I could really see your conviction and your feelings for Coach Ryan. And a lot of you spoke about how you, and it wasn't just Coach Ryan, but it was through your own efforts and your family's efforts that you started out maybe as a pudgy kid, you said, and then over time you evolved into a more confident athlete, and that's really amazing. I think that this is a difficult situation, and one thing that helps me or gives me some comfort is that often, we seek to blame a particular person or entity or factor, but whenever there's a situation that's unfortunate, it really is a bunch of factors that come together. So there's a bunch of actors, a bunch of players that come together, and it's an unfortunate situation. I think it's also important for young people to realize that even the people we look up to as role models are human, and the most wonderful people, all of us up here, can make mistakes, or we have a moment where we think and we reflect and we say, you know what, I could have done this differently. And tonight we did see that Coach Ryan did say, I wish I had done something differently. And that is perhaps one of the greatest lessons we all can learn as we grow. Thank you.
My colleagues have said a lot of poignant things tonight, and I don't want to belabor any points. Coach Faintich, I'm not afraid to say your last name. I can pronounce it. Thank you for your words tonight. Appreciated and heard. In my 11 years so far sitting on this dais, I don't think I've ever seen the kind of depth of support for a member of our community as I'm seeing tonight. It does speak volumes, and I do hear it. That being said, the whole situation for me, having had a son that was with Coach, is heartbreaking. And it's a lot to mull over, and that will continue to probably happen for a while. But like my colleague here said, let us not, whatever the end results may be, let us not make this divide us up. Let's make a better understanding, a lesson to be learned. And I know that the thing that Coach would want for all of you is to have a very successful season, no matter what happens. So we wish you guys all the luck in your upcoming season. Thank you.
Well, I just want to say again how impressed I am with all of you, and with that goes with your coach. I mean, I'm really impressed by all of the words and the stories that you shared tonight, and I am really impressed by the team that you've created, Coach Ryan. That there is a sense of belonging, that there's inclusion, that there is community, there's excellence, there's integrity, and it's true. It's the things that we value as a district is what you have all put on display this evening and today, and I couldn't be more proud of all of you for what I saw today. And I want to thank Coach Ryan as well for apologizing to the community, to the board, and taking responsibility for what occurred. And that is as well. That's another value that's another aspect that we value, is the accountability and integrity. And I really appreciate you being a role model for that this evening for our students and for our community. So thank you for doing that. I'm not, like everybody, I'm not going to speak about the personnel issues, but I'm happy that everybody came out. I'm really happy that we were able to put it on the agenda and to have this time for everybody to speak. I think it's really important. And like we said, it's a complicated issue, and there's more to it, obviously, and we can't speak about everything. But I think that what is clear is the impact that Coach Ryan has had on the school, on many players and lives that he's changed, and that he's done it with the best of intentions. And that couldn't have come across any clearer this evening. So I applaud you all for doing that. And you should be really proud of yourselves. I know that I am.
Thank you very much for being here. Earlier I said in a comment that my only hope is that everybody would have the level of being comfortable to stand up and share what you believe in your heart with us and with people out in the internet, and just the people that are watching the meeting. And you did that tonight. I do appreciate that. It's a very tough seat to sit in when you have to look at information and make a decision to protect all students in the school district. But I thank you very much for coming out tonight.
So on that note, I'd like to thank you all again for being here, for staying as long as you did. I wish you all a very, very happy Thanksgiving. And with that, I'm going to adjourn the meeting. It is 8:23 p.m. Thank you. And we'll go into closed session. Okay. Yes. Where do you want to do it? You want to go back to the district office? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Nice to meet you. Appreciate it.